Okay, are we live? I think we are live. Just quickly check and see. This is going on just now. Hello everyone, sorry if you're... Let me just double check. Content, live. Live, okay, live now, good. That seems to be live. How many times will I say live? I don't know. Will I try recording at the same time? Is that going to be dangerous? I have no idea if this will ruin the live stream. Now let's just double check that autofocus is on tap. So it does not. Good, looks like it's doing what it's supposed to do. Right. Okay. Excellent. Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. Sorry, I had a little bit of computer trouble there. Of course, just before I started, my computer decided to crash. Why do I have the feeling that watching this is going to make me want to buy? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have anything apart from, it would be nice if it was cheaper. I don't have anything bad to say about it yet, I'm afraid. So, yeah, I'm not going to dissuade you, I don't think. Right, let's get started, and I'm going to make a new project here. So I'll explain a little bit what I'm doing when I go along. How's the sound there, James Rose? Is it sounding okay? Can you hear the OPXY at the same time? Excellent, good. It was terrible, the chat yesterday, the sound yesterday when I watched back the video. So hopefully it's a little bit better today. I've even got a bit low on the OPXY. Let me just double check. Right, how's this? This is with a bit of chaos. Is that loud enough? Can you still hear my voice? Okay, hopefully that's looking alright level-wise for me. Tell me if you can't hear what I'm saying or the OPXY. Yeah. Okay, we'll crack on. I'm going to turn this down a little bit on my headphones. Yes, when you speak, the OP gets quieter. Yeah, I've got a compressor on it that's side with its yeah, I don't know, side chaining. I suppose it is side chaining that's responding to the voice so that you can hear me over the top of it. But if I shut up, then you shouldn't hear that too much if I mute the microphone. Right, okay, let's get started. So I want to do some, I'll start a new project. I want to explore, one of my favorite features on the OPZ was step components. Step components was cool. You could take something relatively simple and make it really interesting, makes up a huge amount without a huge amount of sort of thought. It's really experimental, and of course it's very good for ambient music. I was listening, is it Music for Airports, the Brian Eno album, when I was driving in the car the other day, and I just thought, having some generative ambient music and that you could just plug this in whilst I'm working, things like this would be very nice. OPXY will be very good for it. I had a go with something like this the other day. Let me see if I can show you what I kind of started with. This one here, Blanket it's called. So this isn't really, it doesn't have that much variation in it. It's got a little bit of sort of generative stuff in it, but not a huge amount. So Something like this, along these lines. I don't know if we could see what's going on here. Anyway, something along these lines, but let's make something new. Right. So first thing we need, the first thing I like to do when I'm making a project with the OPXY is thinking about what sounds I'm going to have and organize the tracks, because the mutes are based off of track, right? If I hold down this, I've got the shortcuts for the mutes here. And you can only, obviously you can't mute individual samples, for example. So if you want to mute something, you mute everything on the track. So you've got to be aware of that and sort of plan accordingly. Now, I'm probably not going to have much percussive sound in this, so I might leave, the standard project starts with two sample tracks on, the drum engine on 1 and 2, and then it's bass, and then a whole bunch of different synths, and then it gets up to samples again at the top. I'll kind of leave this structure just now, although I'm going to change the engines, but I'll leave this on 1 and 2 just now, although I can take them out later on. Let's get, we're going to need some nice airy pad. I've got, we can have a look at the presets and see what it has for pad. Probably a bit too quiet to hear on stream. Let's turn that up a little bit for you just now. Turn up here in the master settings. Again, it is super quiet, that one. Okay, let's have a look and see what else there is pad-wise. That's quite nice. This is getting at something along the right lines. Oh, this is using the wavetable synthesizer. Really nice. You can do a fair amount with this. The LFO in particular, modifying things like the position in the wavetable, making. Yeah, this could be good, but let's adjust it to start with. Sorry, let's go into the envelope, and we're going to bring up the volume on it a wee bit, because it's going to be the main sort of. Okay, what are we going to play in? What key are we going to play in? Let's get something. So let's play an E minor. Why not? That's just the chord that I started with. And we'll just start sequencing some stuff. I'm going to put this chord down here, and I'm going to let it go. And let's make that a little bit longer. Let's do 4 bars. What happens? Okay, so I can. A little bit abrupt, the change there, but let's use one of the. Let's get started with step components. We're going to use one of the new step components, in fact, this one, which is pitch bend. And there's a whole bunch of different things that you can affect: up, down, bump up, bump down. Let's do spring. Sounds like it'll be interesting. Spring in, fade out, fade up. Hopefully you can see the screen there. Actually, it's coming through quite well. How are you selecting E minor? I was just saying that I'm going to do it in E minor. However, you know, this is a good point. Let's go into the brain and pick E minor. It was the last chord that I did, so it's detecting that that's what the chord was, right? So it's figured out that it's E minor, but we don't want it to change, right? Not without us wanting to change it. So if we add stuff and say we get some like gnarly chords or something like this, it will change the key that it's selected, automatically selected here. We can turn that off though. We can go to manual and we can say E, and we'll say E minor. So down here, right? So that's it fixed now. We've said that's what it is. Yes, the bum keys. Yeah, this is the keyboard here. So this is the accidentals, and these are the natural notes here. And you can, but you use them for selecting a whole bunch of stuff as well. Yeah, so these are the keys. Okay, let's go back to this track, and we'll just start messing around with the pitch bend. So we have now, see, so it's just done a little kind of bump there with this one. So let's go and have a look and see what else we can do. Is that because it's bump? Up, down. Let's try. Okay, so we could get pretty weird with this. Let's try putting it on like let's do every alternate step and see what that sounds like. Let's turn this one off just now, and then we'll put it back on every alternate step. So this is the step sequencer here, right? So 16 steps, and I'm just picking every alternate step. And I've changed just to explain, I changed the scale of this, so to 4, which means that it lasts for 4 bars, so it's multiplying the length of this. And it's so instead of it taking 1 bar, we can see the BPM. Let's turn the BPM down a little bit, actually, down to maybe like 98. Won't put any swing on yet, but there's lots of different swing options, including something that's like, it's called prophetic, which is really, I don't know what it's doing, how the swing works, but it makes really interesting variations. So now anyway, let's go back and say that we're going to take every alternate step on this track, and we're going to give it like a little nudge with the pitch bend up and down. So you hear what it's doing there? Now if we go into the brain track, so we can change the key there. It's a little bit too regular though. So we can change these ones. We can add another step component on top that says that it doesn't do this all the time. So if we go over here, then this one is it used to be called spark, like component spark. This decides whether the step component is going to play or not. And you've got lots of options about, see, it's saying every second time that it's met that it'll play it, every third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time, eighth time, ninth time, and then random. So this will randomly do the bend when it gets it. So that gets a little bit more generative, right? So let's see what that sounds like. Let's give it a bit of doesn't need any delay, I don't think. A little bit abrupt, that change. So let's get the let's end the note here, and then we'll let the decay of the envelope fade out a little bit. Nah, so this is the problem here. So let's change the amp envelope a little touch. At least a wee bit more. Okay. So hear how it's not doing the pitch bend all the time. Now I can manually pitch bend anytime I want, but it's also doing this little pitch bend. We can also change the extent of the pitch bend. If we do this, you can see it's set at 2 semitones at the moment. So if I go into module 2 when I'm on a synth, I press shift, then I can see these additional options here, and I could say 4 semitones, and it should maybe, okay, it doesn't affect the step components, but it will affect the pitch bend when I do this, and I can actually record that pitch bend as well if I want to. But let's put it back down to 2 semitones, it's a bit more reasonable. So let's get a bit of a chord change on the go here. So we've got this long sort of pad sound. You know what, let's go back to that, and what I'll do to fix it, because I don't like it kind of breaking up like that, let's go back here again. Let's if I do this, will it lead to no sort of pop in between? I just want it to be there kind of droning all the time. Let's go the full length. Or will it shouldn't have an abrupt change, I don't think. Let's try this. So if maybe I add a bit of delay, I can get rid of that pop as well. Let's go back here to 2, and let's add a little bit more back in and a little bit more coming out, and then we'll add a little bit of delay. Maybe that'll help. It's a little bit softer. It'll do for now. I could make it longer and increase to like 16 bars or something, but it's fine just now. So let's go into the brain, and we will change this to track scale of 8, and then, or we might do this to 16, and we'll say that here it's going to be our E, right? And that's going to go for here, and then let's go up a minor third. No, not this. How did that happen? Brain. Right, okay, so that'll do. So we'll start off on E. Okay, so sorry, that's going over the top a bit. That might sound a wee bit crazy. Let's change the length of this back again, back to track 4, and we're going to change the scale of this to 2. And we'll go to the brain. The brain, we didn't change the... Okay, so we got here. Okay, so there we've got a little bit of a... Is it playing the same chord intervals from a different starting notes? Yes, exactly. So the brain maintains the intervals, but transposes it. Yeah, so you can see as well, if you have a look, you can see what's changing between them basically as well. It's not changing on this because it's on manual. If I put it to auto, it would. But if let's go back into auto, you can see here. So you can see here, see it's E minor, then changing up. Let's put it back though, so it doesn't change off of that. And let's just mellow this out a wee touch. Let's maybe add a filter too. Don't need to. What track am I on? Oh, it's because the envelope, I'd imagine. Yeah, so that's sounding okay. I'll tell you what we'll do right away. We're going to put the saturator on. Get a bit of that gnarly crunch on it. Turn this down a wee touch. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. And of course we've got this lovely EQ as well. Now, there's a whole bunch of directions we could go here. We could go from here, we could change it so that we have put step components on these. Now this is, I think that's actually, it's a big difference and a massive upgrade from the OPZ. You couldn't put step components on the master track before, but you can now on this. So we could put step components that are saying that these notes won't be played randomly if we don't want those chord progressions. But let's do something even cooler than that, I think. I think I have tried this out. There is this step component here called tonality, which will raise this up by some interval, right? So I'm going to say we can raise it by a third, or up one note like a half step chromatically. And we can do this, but we don't need to do it all the time. Again, we can say, okay, well, let's only do it randomly, or let's do it every second pass. So let's try and see what happens here. So it shouldn't do it this time. So that's this normal chord progression that we had before, right? But once it comes back around again, we should get a different progression. Let's see. Is this going to be G minor this time, or is it going to be something different? Ooh, yeah, let's not do that. Let's change that to be, let's go up a fifth. Okay, so it's a little bit more. Don't know how much I like that. Now let's add a different instrument. Let me see here. And change the. Actually, you know what? Let's just have a look at the actual instrument. So, if I want to change, I can change any of these anytime, right? It's not like the OPZ. So if I say, well, number 5, I want to change the engine on it, I can do Shift and 1, and then let's pick something like. So organ could be quite nice. E-piano. Let's pick E-piano. E-piano has. You can get it to be sort of plinky plonky. And let's go to engine here. So when I'm on, you press Shift and then one of the tracks to pick the presets for that, the presets menu to bring that up, and it'll load it onto that track. If I go to engine, then I can go down to E-piano, and then that sounds quite nice. I kind of want something a little bit more. Let's see. Where is. Let's try dissolve and see if there's anything there. That sounds quite nice. Let's go for that. And we can change it in a little bit. Let's do something like that. Okay. It's getting lost a wee bit. So now it's obviously obeying the same chord progression as the other one. And I think it needs some delay. And let's take down. Oh no, whoa, what is that? No, 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 we do not like that. Do we? I'm not sure. It sounds like a Hoover or something. Oh no, let's get rid of those. I'm going to, for now, for predictability's sake, let's get rid of these step components on here where it would transpose it, because that was a little bit gnarly there. I was not a fan of that. I was feeling relaxed. Right, let's bring down track 4 a little bit. It's a wee bit. Now we could, you notice that the balance was a bit off there. We could try messing around with the compressor, bring up the compressor, even that out a wee touch. But this needs filtered, this pad needs filtered a wee bit. Right, and I might actually get a high pass filter on that as well, because it's just a bit. So if you want a high pass filter on any of the tracks, you can do Shift and then the instrument button, and then it's got a high pass filter there. So, oops, let's try changing this. That's there, that's taking off the bottom end a little bit. Right, now I quite like this bass. It's time for bass, I think. So let's no, that does not go with that. Let's try and see. We'll try and find a different bass. I'm not so keen on that one. Let's change the category. So we've gone from engine to category, and let's pick bass. And this one, you know what, lonely bass. That's nice. Let's just go for that. Okay, that's quite. Are we going to add? Do we want delay in this? Let's try that. A reverb. And let's try doing something. Okay, on this one we're going to go put the same note again, right? But this time we're going to give it a sort of ratchet effect with this multiply, and we're going to put 3 trigs. Is that on? Maybe it's too fast for it. Let's try it with 2. So that's we could probably mess with the envelope in order to make that a little bit more obvious if we wanted 3. But let's see, and we'll add another step component. These ones are up and down, and they will ascend and descend. And it's quite fun with this step component, which is the multiply, because it will adhere to this. So I'll show you what I mean. If I put it on. So you see now, I'll be watching the rest tomorrow. Ah, great. Well, you know, give me a shout in the comments if you have any questions or that, or any requests, or. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let's try. Let's see if we add a. Bit swarm. Nice one, see you later. This seems slightly out of sync, this. It feels like it should come slightly earlier. So let's do that. And then we will get rid of this one and then copy it. So if you hold it down, it'll copy. And then where did I have it? here relative to, oh no, here. Let's try. Yeah, it's a little bit less out of whack. I still think this is a bit too intense, this pad. Let's take it down a wee touch. Okay. And we could, you know what I might do? I might do a wee parameter lock here, where I say that on, oh no, we don't need this. If I hold this, and then I can do a parameter lock in this step, and I'm on the mixer, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this last parameter, oh no, that's not what I want. I'm going to change this, the panning. It's maybe a little bit too much. Right, so get in the stereo field a little bit. Right, let's have a look and see now with the FX track what we can do. So there's lots of different parameters for the delay. Is there any other pages? Let's have a look. That's the sends. You can get a filter for it as well, an LFO. That could be kind of fun to mess about the parameters. But let's put like that. It's got a bit of a nicer rhythm to it now. And let's slow it down a wee bit. I think it needs to be a bit. Right, well let's go mad with the swing. Let's put the swing up just now. Actually I don't think this will work particularly well with the swing at the moment. We need to get something a bit more regular. Let's slow this down a wee bit more. Right, let's try. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so there's a few ways that we could go from here. We could, to get it to be more generative, but one of the things I'd quite like to just add in something else over the top, which is going to maybe a little bit plonky, I don't know, that's a terrible description. You get what I mean. If I go here, I made one yesterday which might be quite good for this. Let's have a look. Nope, that's the wrong one. Yes. Right, maybe something like that. Now we could go crazy with this this step component here is called jump. And you know what, I'm tempted to try something a bit weird with this. So Okay, so if we want to, we can step sequence this. If we hold record, then it will just so there we go. I just basically this will go. Let's bring it down. The obviously it's getting transposed as well. Let's bring that volume down a wee touch. Now we could do some fun stuff with this. So that's quite nice. I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. This is why it's a nice device, right? And why the OPZ was great as well. You try these little things out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You're not too precious about it. You delete it if it sounds bad. You quickly move on to something else and explore and play. Now, important thing. Let's go and name this. Let's call it. So I press save there, right? This is important. Now it will automatically save as you're going along. But if I do press the save button, it will take a snapshot. And I can go back to that. So I can mess this up. I can totally ruin it and make it sound dreadful. But I can go back and load it up again, this snapshot of it. And you can create as many snapshots as you like of the project. Very useful. Let's call it. It's still not particularly generative at the moment. Let's call it Gen. This is an aspirational thing, I suppose. And then it's also quick. So okay, we've renamed the project. It's called Gen. Now, next thing I want to do is I'm going to mess around with this jump command here. This is really cool. So if we, this is a step component. If what we can do is we can say, when you get to a particular point, what I want you to do is jump to a particular step. So if I say 1, when it gets here, it'll jump back to step 1. Now, obviously what that means, Will, that if I just play, and you notice how it's playing this note before it steps. So it's going out of sync compared to what the original one was. So it's just looping this little section. But again, we can mix that up with some other jump madness. So we could say, okay, well, actually do this how many times? If we do if I do a step component, this spark component, where it won't do that step component every single time, so it won't do the jump every time. So if I just have it as 2, it'll do it on the second pass every time. So like, so it's not done it. Second pass it will. So we can get it to do this. And the cool thing is that there's actually a lot of options with this. So you've got play it on the second, play it on the first of 2, play it on the second of 2. And you can do the same thing with like play it on the first of 4, play it on the last of 4, sorry, the first of 4, the first 3, but not the fourth, the last 3, but not the first. So, you can get this pretty crazy with this component, right? So, we could say that let's keep it kind of simple and say that we want you to do it on every second pass, and then we're going to let it go up to here, and then we're going to say we're going to do a jump, and we're going to say jump back to 1, and we're going to make that only happen on the first time it gets to. Let's see what happens there. Right? You see? So now we're getting a bit of a generative feel, right? Now it's not, obviously it's not truly generative because it will eventually get back in a loop. I mean, I suppose it is, I don't know what you call that, partially generative. So it has some predictive element to it, but it will take however many repetitions in order to get back to the original, in sync with the original position that it was in. And obviously the more of them you have and the more complex you have with your step components, you really could get it to be, you know, I don't know, 1,000,000 years before it will. That'll be an interesting video, actually. I wonder if I could calculate what the longest sort of loop would be. I wonder if it actually, mathematically, if it could be, you know, like a Penrose tiling or something, like infinite tiling that doesn't repeat. I don't know if this is possible. Ooh. I'll show you another cool trick with this, and this track is quite good for it. So I'll temporarily remove the step components. Now, if I want to do that, I can hold, oh no, I can't do it. I don't know why. There should be another option here. You see it's clear notes, clear parameters, and what should be here? Clear step components. I don't know why they don't have clear step components. There was a command on the OPZ to remove step components, but there is not on this. But we will write a strongly worded letter to T, and maybe they will add one. That would be, you know, there's a space there. It's just begging out for it. Anyway, so let's go back and turn these off just now. And here as well, this step. So you can tell, I don't know how well this is coming up on stream, but you can see which steps have a step component on them because they dim if they don't have a step component on them. So let's do something weird. Now, there is a cool step component which I really like, which is on jump again, and it is jump one step back. Now, obviously, if I just play now, it'll just go backwards. Right? The sequence will run backwards, which is cool. So you can get a variation just by running the sequencer backwards, but of course, you don't need to have it run backwards all the time. You could have this spark, component spark here, so that it runs every second time. And then now, I think I might have messed one of these out because to me that did something slightly unexpected. Let's turn these off on all of them, turn it back on, and to back one step, spark component on the second pass. So it should, I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. I thought that it should go all the way forward once, hit this, then go backwards. Oh well, it still sounds pretty cool to be entirely honest. Let's mess around with the that sounds so. So get the saturator up a little bit. I might turn it down a wee touch more. And turn that down, the volume on it down a wee touch as well. Okay. So this is a bit crazy watching the step sequencer on this track now because of all the jump components along with the parameter sparks that I've added, making it go backwards and forwards. Yeah, but I quite like that. So how are we going to make it vary more? So we want it to be able to, you know, we want it to do a bit more than that over a longer period of time. We could add things, make things come in and out. So, you know what, we could actually just do this with patterns and then chain them together in song mode. I don't think that's cheating here. You know, why would it be cheating? It's a function you should be able to use. So let's see, what do we want to bring in and out? could... Okay, we could start off with this, and then bring in something. What are we going to bring in next? So the way this works is that we've got a scene here, and a scene is a whole bunch of, it's the kind of current state of this arranger mode, right? So I've got this muted, I've got a particular pattern selected. If we can add more patterns, of course, in the future. So I have everything muted apart from the bass for this one. I can press Shift and then go to scene 2, and everything is currently on. And let's bring in track 3 and 4. Okay. Wow, look how long it's taking. I suppose it is. What have I got the track set to? So this might take a wee while to change between the tracks. But let's go to scene 3, and we will bring in. Might do. Yeah, this is. I feel like it should be even slower. Yeah, I think sounds better, slower. I think so. Okay, now let's see something else that we can play around with here. Now these are. This track is the punch-in effect, and you know they're sort of. I don't know. Is there any key device that are not on? Are they on the OP1 field? I'm not sure if they are. They're definitely on the Knockout 2. Really good use of the punch-in effects there, and of course the pocket operators, which started it all. The OPZ has, you know, had the coolest implementation. Certainly the OPXY has a very similar implementation of it. So for this kind of thing, 8 is always nice, right? It sort of takes off a bit of the high end, and it messes around with the delay or something. Now, if there's danger zone down here, because these ones are drums, so the first octave are drums, the second octave is synth. So I don't want to go down here, or I'm going to get this kind of thing. Now, I could sort of permanently remove this by just taking the drum tracks off, and that's, you know, I've got the drum sampler on track 1 and 2. If I took that off, there wouldn't be anything that would receive the drum signal, because that's how it determines what's drum and what's not. So just be aware of that. That's danger. Now, if you are over on the actual track itself, so let's say that we're on track 6, where we've got this sort of like little bell tone. If I hold Shift, then the keyboard becomes a punch-in effect unit, right? So if I press this here, now you notice that it's only affecting the current track. It's not like the punch-in effect track, where it was affecting everything. And it's slightly different effects as well, and this one isn't drums. So we can sequence those as well. If we hold record whilst we're doing that, then we can actually sequence them in directly from the track with the punch-in effects, when the shift punch-in effects. But we can also go to this track here and do it. They will, if you record them from the track itself, it will end up going here anyway, and then you can start messing around with it. But let's add this in and sequence some of this. Let's just have a leap. Right, so let's just, I'm going to actually just record it so that it's doing a bit of that. Right, so you can hear that it's messing things up a bit here. In a nice way, messing it up in a nice way for sure. We can, but we don't, again, we don't need to have that all the time. We can use step components so that it, you know, this won't happen. So if we press trigger, we can say it's only going to happen every second one, or it's only going to happen every fourth one. So it's normal now, right? You can see that the screen here, this is the default state of it, and it will this pass, and then it's back to normal again. And of course we can make that as complex or as simple as we like, right? The rules for doing this. Again, we can use the jump components here. We can use the various component sparks and things like this if we want to really mess it up. But for now, I'm going to keep it like this, and I'm going to have it turned on and off with a pattern, right? So I'm going to remove them for now. This trigger spark. I think that's what it's called. It used to be called that. And then the way that we can turn this on and off, of course, if we go to Arranger, then we can say new, and actually I quite like it to be at the top. So this has got a new pattern for, oops, well that's actually taking this out. Let's delete this pattern here, which is blank. We want to go to the Arranger, press it again, go to the auxiliary track. This one here is the punch-in effects. I'm going to say I want a new pattern of punch-in effects. I'm going to go up here and copy this and paste it, because I want the no pattern to be the top one. Right, so if you play this, no step components there. And then we could turn them on like this. And turn them off. So this is pretty nice. Now, okay, so this is another layer of another layer that we can use to sort of change the sound of it. And, you know, maybe it would be better just to have it on a step component. Yeah, let's just do that and put it on a step component so that it actually plays through. Okay, so we're going to say that we only want the punch-in effects to occur. Let's say, oh, we could, yeah, okay, let's say that we want it to be out of 4, we want it to be all 3 but not the last one. So kind of clear up the sound on the last of the 4 bars. And so now this next one, see, you know what, change my mind about that. I want it to be every second one. But it should happen on the first, and then be clear on the second, and then have the step components on have the punch-in effects on the third, and then back again. So starts sort of a bit suppressed, then it brightens up a bit, and then a bit suppressed, and it brightens up again. So that's, yep, I'm quite pleased with that. It sounds pretty good. There's lots of ways that we could change that more. We could add more bars in order to make it even longer and vary it. We could change the track scale so that it doesn't last for 1 bar. This actually, lasts for 8 bars per repeat of these 16 steps. But let's go and do something even wackier. Let's go and say that if we go to track 6, we've got the tape. So this is an audio buffer that constantly records whilst you're playing. Now it's not playing just now, obviously, but we can play the buffer that it's recorded. Right, so that's the last chunk of sound that has been playing through the sequencer, and we can, But we probably want it to be a little bit. We could make it. And let's make this a little bit longer. No. Maybe even longer. So there we can get use the tape. So, I mean, it's tons of fun by itself. You can also change the mix of this so that when it's playing, it keeps, you have as a texture over the top, whereas this is just the tape by itself. So let's say that we want this to come in, but much, much later, right? We want to have a good few repeats through before we start getting the tape coming in. So we could do this in a bunch of ways, but we can say, for example, but then maybe when it comes in, we want it to stay on it for a while. So again, let's use some step components for this. If we say that this is going to be a track scale of 8, so this is going to last 8 bars, and then we say that we want it to come in for the last half, but then stay on it for a bit, right? But what we could do is we could go, so let's do the step record, and up here, and we'll just try some random nonsense for this bar here, right? Right, let's see what that sounds like. Now it's going to be a little bit slow, so it'll take a wee while to get to it. So the tape's not on just now. Actually, you know what, let's wait till it just gets to this last one. So then we go, it's gone through, right? But we can say, we like that so much, we want, more repetition of it. So we could say here, if we go on this step, then we can say jump, and we can say we want it to jump back to step 13, which will be this one, right? 13, 14, 15, 16, yep. So if we say back to step 13, it'll just repeat this. Once it gets here for the first time, it'll just repeat this over and over again. Now, of course, once again, we can say that we want how many? We want maybe 4 repeats. It should do it 3 times, and then on the 4th one it'll pass. So again, no tape track just now. See, it's going back to this little section, repeating it again. maybe even more fun would be if we say we want this spark to happen randomly. So it randomly skips this now. So we don't know how many repeats of the tape we're going to get. So it'll go out of sync and spread across. So let's see how many we get on this pass. So what's it going to do when it gets here? Carry on. So we only got one repeat of it that time, but we could potentially get, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or however many in a row, just because randomly it doesn't turn this on. Let's just double check that. So definitely on. Yep, it is. And we'll say good. That's good. That's what we want. Okay, so that means it'll vary up a little bit as well. So in that third repeat, it'll do that. We can even do the same with some of the, we could do, for example, parameter locks with the delay. So we could say, for a section of it, we want it to really change the delay. We could, do massively increased feedback on it. Now, when we're in this mode, when you use the keyboard, all it'll do is play the last track that you played. So that's not very useful. That's not really what we want. But if we play, or if we step on here, on this step sequencer, we can actually do some parameter locks. So for example, we could go and say that we want it to be, what's going to have a big difference? Let's think. So messing around with time definitely has a nice effect, right? So let's say that on this step, we're going to make the time go up to here. And then on the next step, we're going to make it go down here, and then back up again, then back down again. So let's try, see what happens. So we've got it bouncing around, wobble, wobble. But it's happening every step now. Again, we don't need that to happen every step. We can say, I only want you to do it every second one or every third one. And again, we could do random. So this one here is specifically for parameter locks. So it's not doing it as much. It's maybe a bit much that. Let's say that we only, let's say not random, but let's do it every 8th parameter lock. What can we get here? Right, so we'll do it every 8th repeat. We'll need to leave it running for a while before we actually hear it do anything with that. See if it does it. Let's see, watch the time. So now, the longer it's running, the more stuff gets out of phase with itself. I feel like that maybe it even needs to be a... What do you guys think? Oh, hello Laser Fox. Nice to see you. 65. Yeah, 65 is better, right? It's almost getting to a nice relaxed rate there. Now, because we do on this track here, we've got notes on every step. The swing will be very obvious if we mess around with it now. So we could play around with the swing, because some of the swing settings are really neat. So we can put it up to Oh, it's not quite. Right, but this is just normal straight swing. But we've got other ones like if we go to wobble, it's going to go. It goes really wobbly, right? We could put it right up. Oops, where's wobble gone? Maybe it's a bit too unpredictable there. Yeah, that's quite unsettling. I think it's the opposite of what I want to do with this music. Right, but prophetic's quite nice as well. Let's see. Let's try Danish. A little bit less. Maybe even a wee touch less. Getting pretty let's see. So where we could go from here, of course, is that we can start to bring in and out instruments. The only problem we have with that is that if you look here, I don't know how well you can see on this stream, but this it's got like a little pip that's going around that circle that shows your the progress around this pattern, the repeat of the pattern, and at the moment it's super slow, but maybe that's not a bad thing. But we can manually change it, of course. Still think it's a wee bit harsh, that pad. Might filter a little bit more of it out. Sounds a bit like an air raid siren, which is kind of good. Maybe it's the resonance actually. No, it's not. You could also try, you know what, I might try the ladder filter on it as well. So if I press Shift and 3, I can choose the sounds a little bit better. Right, let's bring other things back in. What's going to happen? It's all crazy out of sync, so you know what, let's get a little bit of a let's try messing around with the saturator a little bit. Proper bit of crunch you can get with that. A little bit less. I think that might need a little bit off of this as well. It's still quite a little bit. You know what? I'm going to change the high pass filter. So again, if I'm on track 6, an instrument menu, if I press shift an instrument, I can adjust the high pass filter. Just cleans it up a little bit because we've got so many effects and stuff going on. This is interesting. You notice this here, that you can change the tuning. So it says tuning equal, which I imagine is it equal tempered? Sounds like Old Paper Diamond. I've never listened to Old Paper Diamond, but I will give them a listen to. How does it end though? You know, it'll just go on like this for. Maybe that's the point, that it doesn't end. We could do an old-fashioned fade-out as well, I suppose. It's still changing. It's just because everything's lining up in different ways. The only one that's not so much... Okay. Right, so let's say we can do this, but we can't. I'm sure you like it. I'll definitely give it a listen. Laserfox, thanks for the recommendation. I've not listened to a huge amount of ambient music. It's something I've just got into recently, and but I'm a massive fan of Brian Eno, and you know, this is the Music for Airports. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah, okay. So the next thing I can do is we could bring in a sort of performance element to it as well. So if we go to, let's go again to our track number 6. If we go to the LFO, it's actually already set on element. So we can see this. What is it going to? That's the filter. Sorry, the envelope. If we say, let's go to filter and let's change the cutoff of the filter, and we'll move it down based on this. So what this will do is it will, oops, based on the gyroscope, it will change the filter. It's not doing a great job of it there. What have I got? I do have it to cut off. Filter, filter, filter. If we tip it this way, it should go down. Oh yeah, but there's no resonance, so maybe that's why. So we could, let's mess with something else instead then. What's this? Tone, shape, speed. This is not having much of a... Ah, there we go. Right, so let's play. Maybe a bit much there. Let's see what else we can do. Okay, let's maybe try. Where's our envelope in it? Oh, the envelope is off. This is why it's not working. Let's go back to the envelope and try the first thing I was... sorry, the filter was off. Let's go back to filter here. It's not technically ambient, but the soundscapes are very ambient. What's that album you just referred to? Music for Airports. Yeah, Music for Airports by Brian Eno. I think it's kind of like one of the... I don't know if it was the first. I'm sure that people have been doing this as soon as electronic music was invented, basically. But yeah, it's quite a famous ambient album. I think it would be ambient. What's the definition of ambient then? What is it? Does it need to have less noise in order to be ambient? I suppose it needs to be more like ambient sound, right? I suppose there's too much noise in this. Right, let's see. Let's mess around with this again. Go to the filter cutoff. Right, that's working better, right? I can open and close the filter here. Right, and let's just do it. Let's go and add. Let's put a bit more resonance on it. So, no discernible beat. Right, so we've put the gyroscope on this, controlling the filter on this track with our kind of chimes on it. And then on 5, we could do the same with the bass, or something similar with the bass. Oh, this is already using the envelope. You see how this is this is really cool. Again, this is on this LFO here element. If you have it set to this mode, it uses the now you see the filter's off on this, right? But the filter envelope is there. If you go to module 2, you've got the amp envelope, and then you've got the filter envelope in the background. And you can use this for all sorts of things. And one of the things you can use it for, obviously you can use it to control the cutoff of the filter. And then on 4, you can have it set so that it uses that second envelope in order to control a parameter. So in this case, what is it changing? It was changing FM. Which is quite nice. Not sure, perhaps when it constantly changes or inconsistently. Okay, yeah, I suppose so. I suppose this is that's interesting. I wonder. Again, you could definitely do that with this. We might try this as the next one. That'll be. Thanks for the suggestion, LaserFox. We will. The next one we'll try to get rid of the beat for it. And now this is going to be very easy with step components to completely obliterate whatever sort of where you think the beat is. Okay. Right. Let's see. So let's go to 5 and see what we can change here. Right. Okay, so we could let's again. We've got the oh yes, I am already using that envelope there. I made this patch yesterday. I can't quite remember what I was doing with it. Okay, that's fine. Let's see where else we could do it. Man, I'm a fan. Clearly a fan of this LFO. Oh, thanks, LaserFox. I'm glad you've. It's reasonable enough quality that you've subscribed. Again, I'm really open. This is my second proper stream, so let me know if you've got any feedback. It's seriously useful. I won't take it as a horrendous criticism, especially the sound quality, the video quality and stuff, because it's very hard to judge this at the time, and if you can't hear a word I'm saying or whatnot, then it's not great. Okay, so that's kind of, I think that's kind of cool. But let's do, let's try this then. I'm going to try LaserFox's suggestion here, and we'll see if we can get something where the beat just gets lost. So if we go to, I said, so Gen, so that definitely was. We're going to click save on this again. Now, I'll show you where you can find this. So levels are good. Excellent. Perfect. Thank you. If we go into here, into this menu, stop, shift, you can see here that we can load up different projects. If I go down to, history, you see I'm on Gen here. This is the current project. I press history, then this is the snapshots that I've taken. So I can go back to a previous point in time. I can really mess with this and then go back to a point where it was good. And you can take as many snapshots as you like. really useful feature. I'm trying to get into the habit of doing it because, again, with something like this, and the OPZ was like this as well. The OPZ, you could do this for one slot. If you did, I think, shift and minus, or project and minus and project and plus. Project and plus would save the state, and project and minus would revert the state, would put it back to the state it was before. And so you only basically had one slot of this, and I got into the habit of doing this all the time because I would totally mess up, because that's half the fun of it, right? But it's not if you can't get back to a reasonable state again. My coffee is cold. Right, okay, let's try and get rid of the beat. So I'm going to do a new project here, and I'm going to call this, because I'm very lazy, I'm going to call it amb. And this is, we're going to make something that's definitely ambient, or closer to that style. I'd be tempted to, try and recreate something. This is a good way to learn about a style, right? Try and recreate something that you like. Okay. We go here, and we'll keep it a bit simpler this time. Nope. It's a little bit quiet now. Let's put it the track to. We'll put up the compressor as well. Right, okay. So the first thing we can do is we could have like a rhythm going over the top where it'll go in and out of phase. Now the easiest example of this, let's pick, that's very quiet, but we'll keep it like that just now. Well, no, it's, I think it's 70. Is this? I think it might just have quite a lot of velocity sensitivity on it. You can change the velocity sensitivity by pressing shift and then track, and you can see here that there is a velocity sensitivity, so it does have quite high. So if we reduce this down a bit, again, I'm going to do, because we're probably going to do brain here, I'm going to do Dorian, D Dorian. I love it. It sounds nice, and it's it's simple enough that I can remember which notes, because it's still essentially like a C, except because we're in this Dorian mode here, it starts on the D here. And let's change that so that the brain knows that this is what we're doing. And if I go down here to, so I'm on the brain track here, so auxiliary, brain, change the root note to D, and I'm going to change the scale to Dorian. Whoops, wrong one. Dorian, right. Okay, so that's it set, so that we can mess around with this now, and it won't get out of that. Let's get bass up. There's the category there. Let's start with, we'll do something that has... Nope. That's quite nice. I like iguana. Is that too aggressive? Let's have a look a bit further down. So, makes sense? Right, let's just edit this ourselves. And I'll just go into, I'm going to load up a specific synth engine, so I press shift, module, and then I'm going to do, let's go into axis and see what we can do. Right, we should be able to get something. Let's turn this up again, oops, so that you can hear it. Let's turn down the velocity sensitivity. It won't matter when we're sequencing, but when well, it can matter when we're sequencing. It can actually record it onto it. Right, and let's Okay, so if we go, we put this in here. Now, how could we mess this up so that we lose the beat? Can you hear that all right? Is the bass? I suppose if anybody's on their phone, they're not going to hear that. Let's put something over the top. And let's just load up another synth engine. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong menu. This one here. If we go down to, I'm going to go to wavetable. I like wavetable. Okay, so let's do something where it falls out of sync with each other. So if we say that this one, we're going to have, it's happening every 3 beats, like this. Now obviously this won't work here because it won't, it essentially goes back in line with itself. But if we change, we can change the length of this track, right? So currently it's got full 16 steps, but let's say that we're just going to go down to here. Now obviously it's a bit intense. And this one isn't even played at the moment. And let's just slow it down. So it's going in and out of phase. It's a bit fast though. Right, let's turn it down. And let's do random transposition of this so that we get a little bit of tonal variation. No, not bend, although bend is cool. We can do random. Why is it not doing this? Let's do another one here. Okay, now we need a pad of some description, right? Actually, one of these. Let's turn off the... And what we can do again, to put this, we could put this out of phase in a different way. So we could do this, that might not be so good for this one. Let's go back to the bass and then mess with the bass. So we can do this where the bass is held. These first two are quite cool. So this is called pulse and hold. So it will either repeat the sound, but it stops the sequencer to repeat it. So it stays on the step, right? So it's not like a ratchet type effect where it does it twice in the same beat. So if I do this here, let's go pulse. So let's try transposing. Right, that pad needs to be stretched out a bit. Where was it here? Let's mess around with the pad a bit. Okay, so we can say when you get here, we're going to say that there is a random chance that you're going to jump back to okay, let me see. we could say that it'll jump back to here, for example. So let's say back to step 5. So jump step component, I put a step component on this step here. There's no note or anything, but when it hits that, it'll jump straight back to here. So it would just go in a loop back over here, over and over and over again. But we can also say, well, only do that step component, you know, we'll do it every 5th step, or we could say that it will do it on 4 steps, and on the 5th it'll stop. So watch, boom. So it's really putting stuff out of sync. I think LaserFox, this hopefully is starting to meet your definition, right? Let's make this a bit more tonally interesting. It's a bit boring just now. And let's go to the brain and just, okay, so I'm going to put this one, I'm going to put as just D Dorian to start with, so nothing's happening, but then I'm going to say this one can also be randomly, it's going to randomly transpose when it gets here. But it knows the scale that I'm in, so it's transposing in a sensible way. Is that new? Is the device new? It's the OPXY. It got released a couple of weeks ago. If that's what you're meaning, or are you talking about the step components or something? Hello, Quometer as well. Thanks for tuning in. It's quite nice. The bass a bit boring. Let's go back and, I mean, boring is not necessarily bad in this case, right? We're trying to make something that's nice and relaxing. I could see myself working to this, you know, whilst I'm typing away. Let's mess around it. Everything needs more reverb. So let's get this definitely needs more reverb. And where was this one? That's better. Right, let's get this bouncing around on the panning. Right, so let's go for, we can do and say, okay, we're on the mixing screen, right? So track 4, we hold this one, we change the panning, so we can pan it to the left. Now when it comes back around to that one, and it will go. Now, it's kind of boring if it's just very predictable where it's going to be, but we can say this one is the parameter component, so it won't do the parameter lock every time, so we're going to do it so it's random. So it randomly does that parameter lock, and if you watch over here, this is actually the panning. You can see that it's not changing it every step. So here, didn't change it, and did change it that time. So you can see it's bouncing around, which is kind of fun. Definitely to spice up the bass a little bit. What's going on with that? Got a bit of delay on it. Yeah, that's better. Lots of delay. Maybe not quite that much. It's starting to sound a bit like Donkey Kong music. Under the underwater. Anybody ever played Donkey Kong Country? think it's like Underwater level in that has music that's tonally similar to this. Okay, you know what? Let's make it a little bit gnarlier. Yeah, this sounds nice. Let's get a bit of the saturator on. Yeah, that's better. Music for donkeys. Yep. Highbrow donkeys. Actually, I always think that donkeys look quite thoughtful for being, you call somebody a donkey, it's an offensive term, right? It means they're stupid. But I don't know. I always thought they had a kind of thoughtful look about them. I mean, yeah, there's very little discernible repeat here, right? Apart from the bass. So we could mess that up a little bit. Yeah, okay, so what would be the best way to do that? So, for example, we could add another one here that will be a jump. And we can say that only happens every third time round. The third's always good because it'll put things right out, right? Donkeys are actually pretty smart. They protect the rest of the farm. Did they really, yeah? I think I've only ever seen one in a kind of like a sort of farm zoo. I don't know what do you call that? Like, there's one near here. It's called Ochterradder Wildlife Centre, and there's a donkey there. Yeah, donkey was cool, but when I was wee, the goat freaked me out. It had those weird eyes, and I did not like that very much. You know what? This gives me a thought. Why don't we add in some weird ambient nonsense talk? I've got my headphones on the wrong way around. Oh, really? Oh, so they act... this is a stupid thing to say now. I always thought with donkeys, it's just like the donkey had got lost and ended up with the horses or something like this. But no, that makes more sense, I suppose. Oh. So. Right, let's mess around with the input. Now, if I go to here, to track 5, I can select my headset microphone here. So I've got my microphone going in here, and we can turn it on, and then I need to turn it off here. Hello, 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 hello. Now we need, so you should be able to hear me twice if I'm going to turn this off so that my main microphone's not on. And we can do something stupid. If we say on this, and let's put up lots of reverb and delay and delay and delay and delay and delay and let's put a filter. Donkeys. Not actually. All that done. Why donkey? Why do you protect? They only make fun. Yeah, so. I'll mute that temporarily. Hopefully you can still hear me again. So that's it's tons of fun doing it. I like it's the type of thing that's almost too embarrassing to actually do. But of course, you can get some really interesting sounds and effects with it. And I did this. One of the videos that I did recently was kind of this mystical whistling, I called it, where you're using this effect, and with a lot of delay and reverb, you can get some really interesting sounds. Now we can also change this so that we can we can do that a gyroscope trick here. So if I do, oh, can I not? Oh, I can't have the gyroscope affected one on this, but I could have, for example, some of the, what is parameter 1 here? Oh, look, I can change the input on an LFO? That's weird. I could also change the mix. Right, so let's go back and try that. Hello, is this changing? Is it changing? Is it changing? We could do the filter, I suppose. Right, here's the filter. Should we do high cut? Hello? Let's sample. Right, let's sample some of this, and then we can get some. I might get some laughs, like that's always kind of associated with ambient music, right? Like, okay, we go into here. Right. Now I've got it set up. So this is a really neat thing, by the way, that you can do, which isn't obvious. Obviously, what these wee symbols mean up here. Now you can see there that this little arrow with the circle beside it, you can see that it's actually the output from the OPZ. So you can resample using this, and so you could chop that up and do some really weird stuff with it. Although the tape track's usually better for that kind of thing. Or at least, well, it's for a different purpose. I suppose you could record a drum break and then you could resample it and use it for something like that. But in this case, I think that we'll use the tape track to do that in a little minute. Okay, so let's see. Let's change the input to, that's the internal microphone, and this is my headset microphone. And you see the levels are pretty good there. Let's record something. What do I want? Okay, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do it like this. I'm going to go back to these tracks. I'm going to pick, I don't have anything on this just now. I'm going to go on to 8, and I'm going to go on to, not multi-sample, but the drum sampler, because I don't want it to be, these are going to be atonal, right? And then I'll sample them and then record over the top. Now, if I do this, then you can see there's nothing on this just now. If I press sample, I can record to any of these slots, and I can record something like that's 20 seconds long. Now, I could record one sample, and I could chop it up across these as well. You'd need to reload the sample in every time. They need a slightly better interface for that. It will be good if they do that, but in this case, I'll just do some weird sounds, right? Huh. Huh. No. It's over there. Let's see. I'll get something from the chat as well. Is that new?
Is that new?
Music for donkeys. Oh, actually, you know what? Music for donkeys.
Music for donkeys.
Okay. Now let's play it back and
no. Over there. Donkeys.
Now obviously it doesn't have the lashings of reverb that we need in order for it to sound. See? It sounds dreadful, right? Put tons of reverb over the top. It sounds deep and thoughtful.
No. It's over there. 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 It's over there.
See, this will work perfectly. And then we can.
Is that you? 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 Music for donkeys.
Okay. Yep, I like that. I mean, it'll work, right? For what I'm trying to do. Now we can edit the samples in here. So at the moment, the start point is. Oh no, that's pitching. We don't want to pitch this yet. So if we press Shift, we can. Oh no, that's the. Oh, sorry, no. We need to go in Shift, and then. How do I edit this sample again? I have forgotten. I thought it was in there. Let me have a double check. Oh, sorry, here's the start point here. Just try a different. The end point, we'll get rid of a bit. You can zoom in as well if you want to have a look and see what's going on. This is fine, let's get this. And of course we can do loop points and other things. Pure affix twin, the more ridiculous the better. Yeah. See, you start off, right? You start off with it's tongue-in-cheek, and then what you do is you post-rationalize it and you say, actually, I meant this very deep and meaningful thing, right? So this is what we're going to do. Music for donkeys started off as a joke in the comments, but now it's going to be deep and meaningful, right? Okay, let's. No, not the donkeys. No.
It's over there. It's over there. It's over there.
What's over there?
Donkeys. It's over there. 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 It's over there.
Might filter this a wee bit as well. Get rid of my horrible. I don't know if this mic picks that up as much, but this one definitely does.
Is that you? 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 Music.
I mean, we can pitch it up and stuff as well. That would be. Can we pitch bend on the drum track? Let's have a look and see.
Music. Four.
And you can hold Shift to do really fine. Oh no, you can't. You can on the other one. You can do Shift to do fine adjustments, but that looks like it's balanced.
Donkeys.
There we go.
Music over there. It's over there. It's over there. Music's over there. Music's over there.
Okay, right. So let's sequence some of this in now. Now, with the compressor, this is getting lost a little bit. So let's go on to the. We could, okay, so we can increase it here a wee bit, but that's not going to do much. Oh, sorry, I tell you what we need to do. We can go in for individual samples, and then we can adjust the level here. So, hold Shift, and then the parameter 4.
It's over there. 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 Music. music, 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 donkeys, music, 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 or donkeys.
Now, interestingly, if we put this here,
Music, is that you?
you notice there. Why is that not triggering?
Or.
Let's try that there. Have I muted this track? No. Why is it not playing?
Music, music,
Okay, so it's working out. I don't know why it wasn't working that first time. Let's just... Okay, so if we do this, let's say that we put it here. And what's our current... Yeah, this is fine. One thing that we can do here, let's put it there, we can say with this one, we can go random with this as well, where it'll go up 5 steps, 1 octave. So let's change it 3 steps, 2 steps in 1 octave. So that would go, what's this note again? So 2 steps here and here. We wouldn't get to these, but let's see.
So for there.
So you can see.
So for there.
Is it going to keep on doing that? No, it won't. It shouldn't do the same one.
So for there.
Where's that step component not working? 2 steps. Let's try more. Maybe does that not work with the? Does that not work with the thing we synth? That could be a drum synth feature, or a peculiarity about the drum synth there, that it's not affected by random. It seems a bit weird though that it wouldn't be. So let's try tonality and say chromatic up, and see if that affects it. No, it does not.
Is that you?
Oh wait, it did there.
Is that you?
I'm at a bit of a loss. I don't know why it's not triggering that every step. Do I have some other step component on? Oh, it's that. I know what it'll be. It'll be the brain. So the brain is transposing, and it's transposing everything. Now, it's transposing track 8. So this is why it's getting confused. Or, sorry, we need to press this down. Turn it off. Now.
Is that you?
Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's the very...
Is that you?
Right, let's try again and see if we can get a random with maybe like 2.
So for there.
Where is it going to there then? What did I set it to? 2 steps.
So for there. Donkeys. So for there.
Nah, it needs more structure. What we'll do for this instead is we'll have it go music for donkeys once every however long. Music. So let's say that we want it to be 4 bars long. And we can say we don't want it to. Oops, I'm not even pressing record.
Music. Or.
Right, and let's do, let's make sure that that doesn't happen too frequently. We can say on a step, let's do this one. No, we'll go this one so it's a bit easier to keep track of. We want it to jump to step 1, and we want it to do it randomly. Oh no, this one. We want that to do it randomly. And then we're going to copy this, right? So see how it's jumped back, and this time it's passed through. Right? So if we do this, can we not copy that step? Because it's just got a step component on it. Okay, well, we can do the same thing here, and here, and say, oh no, that might be a little bit too unlikely to happen. Let's put two of them beside each other to jump the first step again randomly. So this means that it'll be pretty rare that it gets past both of these. So it's not got past the first one yet. No, it's still not got past the first one. Oh no, it's got past the first one, but not this second one. Oh, it's through.
Music. Or donkeys.
Right, let's, we need even more reverb so that people know that we're serious.
Music.
Even more delay.
Or donkeys.
And let's add a filter to this track as well, because it's a little bit... you know what, I'm going to do add the high pass filter as well, and get rid of some of that kind of muddy.
Music.
There we go, that's better. More macaroni. Does that mean that you want me to add a sample with the word macaroni? Or is that a musical term that I'm not familiar with? I don't know what macaroni might be if it was a musical term. Cheese it up. We can do that. Okay, let's do no on this step, and then so it's not too frequent again, we'll do like a jump back to step 1, and we'll do it like every second time round. That's not what it should be. It should be no. What's this? This is what something's happened here. We want the jump back to 1. We want that to happen every second time. A small part of me is waiting for the breakbeat to start. Yeah, I need to get it loaded in. Have I made this too rare for it to say? Okay, let's see what we can do to mess around with this, because it's still the samples. Right, let's turn off a sec. That sounds better. Okay, and let's do that there, and do it every 4th time round. So now, you know, it's really getting wobble bass. We can make the bass wobblier. That just makes me think of Swede Mason. Wobble bass, wobble bass. Actually, we actually literally have tremolo on this. Stop a second. Let's add a bit more bass in. This is stupid in a good way. Is this ambient? Is this ambient, Laser Fox? Please tell me. And of course, we can get we can slow the tape right down. That's good, thank you. The Laser Fox ambient certified. Let's make this a little bit longer. Now we can choose what goes into the tape track as well. So we could, for example, have the bass so that it doesn't go in, or some other element, any element you like, including like the dungeon core. Right, let's mess up. Dungeon core is cool. It's the first time I heard about that. It was only quite recently. And of course we can mute this track, right? So if we hold down our auxiliary button and we press the tape, we can turn it on and off. And of course we can mess around with it. Oh, I've muted it. Right, but we can record these as well, of course, because we can parameter lock it. Yeah, that sounds very cool. Now you notice it's quite heavily stepped. Nice. Yeah, smoke machines, lasers. I kind of feel like we need some sort of Not interpretive dance. That's a step too far. But we need people on maybe poetry, live poetry. You have 6 lasers. Now, why do you have these lasers? I feel like, you know, I'm not going to phone the police or anything, but why do you need 6 lasers? Laser, okay, this makes total sense. Laser show production. What do you do that for? Is that your job? You do live shows? Let's turn off this for a wee sec. Ah, cool. That's neat. Do you ever mess around with like the DMX stuff on OPZ? Do you have an OPZ? Cool. That's neat. So, like, bringing all the equipment and setting up and all this type of stuff. You should have a look at the OPZ. The OPZ is pretty cool. It has a track on it that's like DMX lighting, and another one for it's called Video Lab, where you can do Unity graphics and step sequencing and stuff. I have a video about it where I'm sequencing Bela Lugosi to some spooky music, which is my other favourite thing to make on the OPZ. Yeah, it's neat. It's a really cool device, and my god, you can pick them up for super cheap now, because lots of people are selling them trying to get an OPXY. But it's still a really good device, excellent value. The only problem is, I would say get a second-hand one and make sure it's not got lots of the problems like double trigs and other stuff like this. Because the build quality on them, you know, it's all fixable, but, you know, you get one new, then there's very often problems. I used to work as a night porter in a hotel, and it was like a wedding venue, and we used to have guys like you coming and setting up for big bands and stuff like this, and they'd be, you know, that was pretty harsh hours they were working, because they'd be needing to get packed up first thing in the morning to get it off somewhere else for the next event, so that's pretty cool. Right. Okay, so that is that definitely, this is ambient now. We could mess up in other types of ways. I don't know though. What will we try? Let's try a new track. I thought it'd be an easy gig. I'm there first and I leave last. Yeah, this is what I'd see all the time. You know, like I would be, you know, I'd very often the day before I would see them setting up, and then the day afterwards they would be away. Work in a factory, still make music the weekend though. That's cool. I'm a scientist most of the time. I had nothing to do with audio or anything like that, and then this is what I do in my downtime. What kind of factory, Rainbow Layer, is it? What kinds of stuff do you make? Science music. I've actually done some stuff trying to like sonify, is that a word? Make music out of data that we produce in the lab, but yeah, it came out, it was alright. It wasn't great, if I'm entirely honest. It wasn't very musical. Less musical than this even. Yeah, I'm sure I could get it to work a bit better. Essentially what I did was just converted the data to like a pentatonic scale. Ah, you work for Volvo. That's kind of cool. Air compressors for brands like Crescent and what? That's cool. They're proper things. That's making something actually useful. That's good. Yeah, there's not much of that. I don't know where you are if you're in the US, but here in Scotland there's not much of that type of manufacturing at all anymore, which is a shame. My granddad was an engine builder in the shipyards in the west coast of Glasgow, the west coast of Scotland near the city Glasgow. It's all gone though. There's not really any of that stuff anymore. It's all service industry, finance, and yeah, not great stuff like that. Okay, right, so I'm happy with that. I should rename that Music for Donkey. Yeah, this type of work. I mean, again, I used to do it. I run a science lab now. I'm a lecturer, so like an associate professor at a university, and I used to really like that, being in the lab and tinkering and setting up the experiments and doing this type of stuff. And I miss it because I don't really do that anymore. I teach and I manage people, but yeah, it's nice doing that type of stuff. I'm a real estate photographer that shoots lasers at hippies on the weekend. Get them in the eyes. Get the hippies in the eyes. How serious would it be if you got one of those stage lasers shot in your eyes? Would it be a pretty serious situation? No eyes. I mean, I'd imagine so, right? Like, if I had a laser pointer near my eyes, it wouldn't be bad. Yeah, okay. So would that be a catastrophic failure? Could it really ever happen the way that it's set up? Like somebody on stage, if they jumped over it? I suppose so, right? It's their own fault if they did. Right, let's start something new. Okay, what's this one going to be? What have I not used and not shown you yet? Let's try to do... we could get another instrument in and connect up the MIDI. I've not done that yet. What could we pull down? I have a Digitone. Or the DeepMind 12. How is that all plugged in? It'll burn you right quick, so it's no joke, yeah. Does your box do beats at all? My box? I don't know what you mean by that. It sounds rude, whatever it is. Let's see. Let's try and... Okay, yeah, let's connect this up. Let's try making something using some sounds from the DeepMind 12. This is input, I think. Double check. Yeah. And then we can get MIDI set up as well to control it. MIDI cable here. I don't know if you can see that. I have my IKEA rack thing with all my cables and stuff. Just grabbing stuff off. Does your box do beats at all? Yeah, oh right, yeah. So let me show you very quickly. So the way I've got it, obviously I'm doing some weird stuff in it, but it can just do normal music as well. Let me play you some. What have I made that sounds more normal? I can't remember what this is. It has a name, so it must be. I don't know if this is set up. Yeah, it does. It will go on by itself. Oh, no, that's sounding... I must have done something with that. Sounding wrong. Let me see. One of these. Maybe this one? Yeah, so this is like... It's more like normal music, right? It's not just all that random garbage that I was making a second ago. No, high quality ambient music, sorry, I got confused. Right, let's get this set up. But yeah, definitely. I wonder if any of the... I can have a go with the presets if you like, and you can see what the... I think that there's some more... Oh, that's nice. Jazz. So there again, you see, like you can get proper sounds out of it. It's really... Let's get on the... Yeah, so it's just one of the factory presets, which is why it sounds nice. I could not do that in good conscience. What could I do? I could do some, maybe some interpretive poetry over the top, like, what do you call it? What's his name? Baz Luhrmann or something. A man walks down to the drugstore late at night. He's going there for a sinister purpose. I hear you ask, why is the drugstore open late at night? And the answer to that question is, it suits the purpose of the song. Could do something like that. Let me see, right, I'm going to get my MIDI adapter. Is my MIDI adapter. This is a pretty Beatless preset. I don't know if I've actually listened to this one. Oh, I hear something. Well, that's cool. That's a nice one. The Irish always have great stories. Are you meaning me? I'm not Irish. I'm close to Irish, though. I'm Celtic as well. Right. The Irish do have great stories, though. My wife's family are Irish. I'm Scottish, so it's not far at all. I'm not offended. I like the Irish. I'm fine with that. My wife's family are all Irish. Let me see. Where's MIDI in? God, sorry, 2 seconds. MIDI in. Right. Okay. This is impromptu, so I didn't have this set up before. But then we've got MIDI in coming here. I've got the DeepMind 12 over here. This got some pretty good stuff in it. I'm from the US, so accents, I'm not too good at distinguishing. Yes, I've got actually quite a mild accent, and so a Scottish accent, so people find it quite difficult to tell where I'm from, even in the UK. Most people can tell that I'm Scottish, but it's not as obvious as it might otherwise be. Right, okay, let's go to input, and we'll say this one should be cool. So there's the DeepMind 12 coming through, and I wouldn't say that I'm quite good with accents, but I don't know if I could pick out in the US where I can tell like sort of Valley Girl style Californian versus New Yorker, and obviously somebody from maybe like New Orleans or something, but I don't think like what's the bit in the middle called of America? Sorry, the middle America, is that what it's called? I don't know. That big bit in the middle, I don't know if I could say. Oh no, Minnesota, because I've watched Fargo. Minnesota people, they've got a great accent. Right, so there we go. We've got the setup. We can get something else on. Yeah, with the R sounds and everything. Oh yeah, yeah. I can't do it. But of course, there's that amazing song by Frank Zappa, Valley Girls, and it's got his daughter. Oh God, I can't remember what her name is. Something Zappa. She's got Moon something. She does a great impression of it. Okay, so now if we set this up, we should be able to go to MIDI. And I don't know what channel it's listening on, actually. We can probably change this on the MIDI settings. Down here. Yes. Receiving on channel 1, and transmitting on channel 2. Okay. Ouch, my knee. It should be sending then. MIDI. MIDI. Now why are we not... do we need to do... Now, do we have... Is this MIDI out or MIDI in that I've got connected? I've got MIDI out connected. That will be the problem. No, yeah, we do want MIDI out. What am I talking about? Do we need to? Yes, good. So MIDI is on in COM. This should be sending MIDI out. Is it not listening for it on this? MIDI control, program change none, receive channel 1. Right, let's see. Let's turn this to channel 14 and see if it's... I've got a funny feeling that it's just I've not got it. Oh no, that works fine. Okay, great. So now I've got the again, can't really see. This is the Behringer DeepMind 12. Again, it's one of the ones that's not, it's a bit of a clone of some Roland synth, but not really. It's got some really nice features on it. And actually, including, I'll show you a patch that I made for it, which is kind of neat. So you can do some. This is not one of mine. So again, we can do this. The nice thing about this, once we've got it set up, is that, again, we can use all of the same features, right? So we can use, get this over here. So, for example, let's just say that this, that's me changing this project. Let's go to new project. And I say, we'll need to go back to MIDI. I will need to say MIDI channel, what did I put on before, 14? MIDI is on. Oh, now I don't have the input on. It needs to be this. There we go, right now. The cool thing is that we can do all the... So this is using the arpeggiator on the OPXY. That sounds pretty good. Right, let's record that. So we can use one of the other features now. I've been just extending the length of the patterns, but I could do add bars so that it's like pages of bars, so up to 4, and then I can just switch through the pages. So I could do this, switch to the next one. Let's do that. No, that's right. Right, so let's go to page 2 here because there's something that didn't record that one properly. do not need the metronome for this. Again, we can mess this up. We could add external effects. Obviously, there's got great effects on the DeepMind 12. But we can mess this up. The cool thing is that we can also use the transpose. Now we can use the transpose. I'm sure that we can. How do you do it though? I'm sure that you can get it to be. Let's have a look and see in the shift menu. Maybe you can't with MIDI. That's very weird though. I thought you would have been able to. Gotta go. Thanks, Laser Fox. Oh, the name makes sense now. Laser Fox. Why you're called Laser Fox? Play with lasers all the time. Anyway, yes, thanks so much. I really appreciate you tuning into this stream, and thanks for your suggestions. That's very amusing. Pew pew. Thanks very much. See you later. And then let's go occasionally. We will do that. Let's do it. Every third one. You too. Thanks very much, Laserbugs. I really appreciate you tuning in. It's a little bit quiet, this one. Let's turn up the master a wee touch. And put the compressor on. Let's bring up. Yeah, bring up the. Let's go back here. Okay, that's sounding quite interesting. With the DeepMind 12, of course, we can go and alter the parameters on this. Actually, I think we can set it up so that the mod wheel on this will send. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Maybe I can't do it on these tracks. Oh, it's actually just sending pitch bend. Now, on the other tracks, I can actually change what mod does. See, it does like aftertouch, pitch bend, velocity, and the mod wheel. I would quite like to. Can I not change the mod wheel with this track? Again, that doesn't make any sense to me that you couldn't do that. So, okay, if this is how this works, then we should be able to add some of the weird. Let's go back to one. Let's add some pitch bend on step components here. Where do we want it? Let's put it here. And again, this one here is pitch bend. Oh, this thing is not slow. Hi, Blandon. First time seeing the XY. Well, give me a shout if you have any questions about it. It's pretty cool. Just to catch you up if you just joined, I've got the DeepMind 12 over here running through. I've got MIDI coming out of the OPXY and round to the DeepMind 12, audio coming back into the OPXY, and then of course I can put effects and stuff like this on top of the input that's coming in here. And then what I'm doing here is I'm playing around with step components to make it have this weird, ever-changing sort of rhythm, and in order to kind of make sort of ambient music, but just weird, noodly crap more than anything. So many little labels. Yeah, it's all these ones down here. These are the step components that I'm talking about. So basically, this is a 16-step sequencer, right? So you can put, this is a trig on this beat here. So you see, and it's going around to this trig every time. If we put more on, then we can get trigs on everything. So like, let me see, we'll go here. So. Actually quite like that. Yeah, so this is the trigs here, and this is a keyboard. This bit here is like a keyboard. If I go back to this track, so I'm playing this synth using the keyboard here. And then we can do funny things with how this sequencer works. With these things, if we press shift, we can put these funny symbols that you were talking about. They do various different things. So let's say this one, for example, is pitch bend. So if I say on this one here, this step, I can automate some pitch bend, and you can see that it's bend shape random 2, right? So let's have a look and see what that sounds like. It's maybe a little, you hear? So it's sort of, it's difficult to, yeah, see how it's bending? Oh yeah, of course, it's only on the first step. So we only have it here on the, because I've got 4 repeats on this. So there's like 4 bars. So I can switch, this is bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. And I've only got this step component on, which one? 2. Right, let's go back to bar 1 and make sure I have it there as well. And we'll say pitch bend. We're going to bend up a different amount. Oh, that's cool. This is cool. Let's go to 3 and do another pitch bend on this one as well, but we'll do a different type. Fade up. Oh. Oh, that is gnarly. I definitely like the style more than the OP1, even though I can't afford either. Well, I have to say, to buy this, I sold a bunch of gear that which I wasn't using. It is expensive. I'm a massive fan of the OPZ, so it's, you know, and it's worth having a look at potentially if you're you know, you can get one for about £200-300 at the moment because people are selling their OPZ to buy these, and it can do, if you're wanting to just mess around and play with it and sort of noodle in this kind of way, then you can do 90% of the same stuff. The audio quality is so much better in this, and it has lots of quality of life features that are really, really nice. But aside from that, you know, it's the OPZ. It has some stuff that this doesn't have as well, but it has like the step components that I'm talking about here. That's where it first had it. The synth engines are still really nice. The audio quality is decent, but you know, it's a good device if you're wanting to get this type of thing. But yeah, it's the most expensive musical bit of musical gear that I've bought, and like I said, I had to sell a couple of things, a Polyend tracker and a SP404 Mark II in order to get it. Still very, very expensive, but I'm pleased with it. I think that it's, you know, it's a nice device. It's well made. It has a lot of functionality, so I'm quite happy with it so far. Right, that's the one I don't like. On the third pass, this one here, let's change that to spring out. Let's go bump up. I like the step sequencer more than the OP1 as well. The tape-based workflow of the OP1, it's never really appealed to me. So, whoops. That's why I've never bought one, but I prefer step sequencer. And this has got the most fun step sequencer that I've played. I've got a digitone up here, which has the electron sequencer on it, which is really nice as well, very powerful. But I still don't get on with that one as much as I do with the OPZ and with now the OPXY. Right, we need a bass. That's no good. Yeah, let's go for something nutty. So this has got some let's filter a wee bit of that off. Go. Maybe a bit. Let's change the scale of this so we can slow down the sequencer. More. Let's extend this a bit. So we can say we're going to have 2. So the second page. Right, okay. That's a bit better. Let's mess around with the synth parameters here. Right, let's change this to tremolo, because I quite like a bit of let's change. So if we go down the way like this, and you see the notes, then it's synced with the tempo. Whereas if we go up here, we can get it out of sync. Let's leave the vibrato alone. Let's have this build up a bit. Right, okay, let's try. What happens suppose if I go onto here, let's go onto the MIDI track and see. Oh, it does have punching effects on this track, on the MIDI track. Right, let's try a different effect here. So we're going to effects here, and we've got delay. Let's try changing the delay for something else. Let's see phaser. Wait, what is it on at the moment? Nah, that's not interesting enough. Let's see. Lo-fi? Let's see, and get it up on the bass here. That's quite cool. I think as well I can have the input track get some of the effects on it. You must be able to. Ah, yes, you can. Look, there we go. Doesn't sound great with that, to be entirely honest. Right, let's. Right, let's do this. Let's on this step we're going to put bend shape up down. So let's see what that sounds like. It's not enough. Let's see if we can hear it. You can hear it, I think, but it's not. It's enough. Up, down, up, down, spring in, fade down, fade up, random. Let's see what the randoms sound like. I think if I do, let's go here and just check the, yeah, it's 2 semitones. It needs something else, doesn't it? Let's check this effects. So maybe. Okay, that sounds a little bit more. I don't know. This sounds a little bit more what? It sounds weird as hell. Let's face it. Crunch. Yeah, the saturator is so nice in this. Let's bring up the percussion a little bit. Let's see. see. Okay, so that one, what we calling that one? It's with the deep mind. So what will we call it? That sounds like, I don't know. It's limb. Let's call it that, because we're out on a limb with that one. Don't think that one's not as good. The best one by far is the donkey one. I can't even remember what it was called. What was it called? Oh my goodness. I go back and chat and find out. What was it? Oh no, it's too far back. Can't see it now. Okay, anyway. Limb. Limamid. Why not, I suppose? Lima. Let's just change it to lim, like my original plan was. And then let's delete these out. Okay, that's us. And okay, I think that's me for the night. Thank you, everybody that tuned in to listen to this. You know, and hopefully entertaining, if not high quality live stream. Let's put this back on for playing it out. Yeah, thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. I really appreciate it. And subscribe if you would like to see more of this type of stuff. And you know, yeah, I'll see you in the next stream. Thank you.